"Hi," he said to her. "Kids, your dad is home," Peggy called out. David and Chrissy came running from out of the back bedroom, crashing into Thomas. He knelt down to hug them, kissing them both on their foreheads and smiling. Peggy looked at the scene, and Thomas caught her smiling proudly, too. "They've been begging me all day about going out for pizza," Peggy said with a chuckle. "Can we, Dad, please? Please, can we, Dad? Mom said we could if you said yes." The kids begged repeatedly. There was never any point in saying no. Peggy always would have promised already. Thomas glanced at his wife and let out a long sigh. "I'm exhausted. Can't we just call for delivery?" Thomas asked pleadingly, but it seemed to fall on deaf ears. Peggy pursed her lips and looked towards the kids with a small nod as if to say, "Oh, Thomas, please don't disappoint the children." But he really needed a rest, even if it was just to have a half an hour to shut off his brain with his eyelids closed. That sort of thing seemed so unobtainable these days. Simple pleasures all taken away. The house was always crazy busy and stressful these days, and he couldn't blame everyone for wanting to get out of the home for the evening, but he just wanted to be in, having been out all day. "Look, why don't you all go without me? You know what I'm like when I'm tired like this," he suggested with as warm a smile as he could muster. But there was no response, and Peggy looked almost as if she could burst into tears any moment now. He then looked down at the twins, who were starting to show their sadness. Their little girl was soon learning the ways of her mom, and her little pink lips were caught in a pout. She slammed her doll, a chubby plastic toddler figure with bright pink hair, down on the carpet, but still made the doll walk across it as if in a temper. The doll stomped along, the little girl making up her own story as she played the scenario out in front of her parents. "There," said the little one. "Daddy can't come out with you because he's too tired, okay?" She told the doll in no uncertain terms, pretending to be her own mother. "You can go and get dinner without Daddy," she went on. "Daddy's never not tired these days. Daddy works too hard, Dolly," she added wistfully, almost as if she knew how it would play on his heartstrings. Thomas sighed again. This time it felt as if his whole heart was being exhaled. "Oh, baby," he said as he stroked his daughter's fine hair, brushing it from near her eyes. "You know just how to get to me, don't you? You're a smart girl, you are. And I'm a softie when it comes to you, too." He got up from his knees and again patted the twins on their heads. Peggy smiled once again, this time accompanied by a sweet and amused chuckle. Her smile was wide and beaming, and Thomas remembered for a moment why he had so fallen for her all those years back. He forced out his own half-smile, his heart heavy for how things had all changed now. She was still beautiful in her own way, but she never made the most of herself these days. It was sad to see the gradual decline of such a vibrant woman. Summoning strength and enthusiasm from somewhere deep within himself, Thomas yelled out, "Oh, come on then." He feigned resignation, but then again he didn't have to feign it. But he would at least have liked a shower first. Only now the kids were up on their feet and Peggy had grabbed her purse. "Yes, let's go get pizza," he called out, much to the excitement of the twins. He sucked in a big breath, knowing they'd be back soon enough anyway, and then he could go grab his steamy shower and put his feet up. "Yay, we're gonna get pizza!" Chrissy cheered as she jumped up and down, while David put up his little palm, inviting his dad for a high five. "Thanks, Dad, you're the best," David said. "We knew you would, didn't we, Chrissy?" Chrissy just giggled and placed her doll back into the toy basket. Well, that was something. At least that was one toy they wouldn't need to tidy away later. Small mercies. Peggy let out a soft smile again. Then her face fell. There it was. She stepped closer to Thomas, eyeing the collar of his shirt. The smile had disappeared from her face, and in its place was a confused frown. Her body language changed as pain washed over her pale face. Her voice, suddenly heavier and shaky, spoke out. "How about you go take a shower to wash off the dirt from your day first?" she asked her husband, venomous sarcasm in her tone. What was with the sudden mood change? A flicker of unease ignited in Thomas's gut, but he thought about the nice warm shower waiting for him and instantly agreed. Okay. He headed into their master bedroom, slipping off his boots, then socks, and beginning to unbutton his shirt. And then he knew why Peggy's face had fallen so, why her mood had changed and her tone had become cynical. She had seen it. The stain. "Oh no!"